Hello and welcome to techAU. This is episode 23. I'm Jason Cartwright. Today Google have not announced their gPhone as expected. However, they, along with the Open Handset Alliance, are announcing an open platform for mobile devices. This is called Android. And what Android is an operating system as well as applications, and they'll be releasing the SDK for this on November 12th. This should allow more and more handset devices to adopt this format, and because it's open, development should flourish and we should start to see some really great apps on mobile devices, which is, they are a little bit lacking on today's standards. So you look at something like the iPhone, and that sort of maybe spawned on this kind of future development of mobile devices, which has been kind of stagnant for a while. So it's good to see more than 30 companies getting together and saying, let's take this to the next level, let's open it up, and let's have some great development there. So look forward to that and see more and more manufacturers pick that up, and it should be a big competitor to Apple's closed format of the iPhone. So yeah, moving on, other news. They also, earlier in the week, Google had announced Open Social, which is, again, similar fashion, trying to not just take on one element, but trying to build the platform that all the other providers use. Is Open Social allows application developers to build an application once and then have that be deployed on many social networks, any that support that format. So there's currently around 17 different social networks that are supporting it. Obviously, Microsoft's Live Spaces and Facebook are the big ones that aren't. Google's own Orkut, as well as High Five and Friendster, and a number of those do. So even MySpace has adopted the new format. So for developers, that's a fantastic thing. Obviously, they develop once and get access to a lot of different markets there. However, I've heard, listening to Twitter, I think it was Robert Scoble mentioned that in discussions he'd had with developers, they will be effectively developing two versions of their apps, because Facebook is not likely to adopt the new format. So the developers will build one version that will be Open Social compliant, and then the other Facebook version, because Facebook is so huge, and obviously the growth in that market is something that you just can't ignore if you're a developer for those applications. So yeah, interesting times. So Google really, rather than just build one specific device like the phone, or they do have their own social network, but rather than try and compete that against Facebook, they went down the path of building a platform rather than just a specific one instance. So that's kind of a smart move by Google. We'll have to wait and see if it pays off, and see how that pans out in the next few months. And especially with the mobile platform, the SDK will really sort of highlight how easy it is to develop for, and those sorts of things. So looking forward to that. Moving on, PC World magazine is in trouble and is set to end early next year. With ever-increasing costs for print-based content, magazines face a real challenge. They're obviously up against their online rivals, which is pretty much inexpensive to develop for. Obviously, writing the actual articles is the largest cost in that. Actually hosting the files and that side of it online is much cheaper than printing the physical magazines and then distributing through the traditional chains of distribution through your magazine stores and your supermarkets, etc., etc. So there's a lot more costs involved in printing a physical copy of a magazine compared with this, distributing that online. And what we've seen over the last couple of years is, or even longer than that, but we've seen more and more of this information online, especially in the tech field, like just available for free online. So if you've got a magazine and the competition is giving it away for free, then you've really got a hard task to sell that $9 or $10 magazine to consumers when they can get the same information, often more updated information online. So that's it for PC World magazine. I know a lot of people have been subscribing that to a number of years, and I myself had preferred APC magazine, and over the last couple of years I've basically stopped buying it as well. So I can certainly see why there's a decrease, the price of the magazines have been going up slightly over time. So we've gone $8, $9, $10 now, and that's for a magazine every month, and you're looking at a couple of those, then it starts to add up. So moving on, let's move to some very scary news. Telstra is testing the iPhone on their networks, which sounds very scary indeed. However, a Telstra spokesman has basically come out and said, look, we'll test any new device that comes into the country on our network. So that doesn't specifically mean that Telstra will get the iPhone, if they do tie it to a carrier, that it will be Telstra. So let's hold out some hope that it's not. I'd prefer it to see it go to, I wouldn't care, Optus or Vodafone or somebody else like that. But I fear that if it goes to someone like Telstra, then the data charges for that are going to be astronomical and very prohibitive. It's got a great web browsing experience on the phone, so if you're going to do that and you're going to actually use that on the phone, that function, it has to be economical, it has to be affordable, and our data rates at the moment on mobile devices are horrendous. So unless, along with the announcement of the iPhone in Australia, they also announced good data plans, you know, that's something I'm very worried about. So keeping on Apple news, I ordered an iPod Touch a couple of weeks ago. It's prepared to be shipped apparently, so due in the next week coming up. So once I get that, I'll certainly give you guys a look hands-on with the iPod Touch. That should be good. As always, any feedback or comments that you have, send me an email at feedback@techau.tv, and don't forget to leave any comments on the blog post during the week. So thanks very much for joining me, and have a good week.